You are now listening to Appointment, a podcast dedicated to showcasing the very best direct primary care providers in your community. These guests are taking the initiative to transform how you receive your healthcare services by simplifying the process and improving how healthcare is done. Appointment is sponsored by AppAxis, helping independent healthcare providers and entrepreneurs take control of their online presence by better engaging their mobile audiences no matter where they are. Learn more at appaxisllc.com. I am your host, Jonathan Christopher, and let's get started. Welcome back to Appointment. I'd like to take a moment to thank all the listeners and supporters that I've had at this point in the podcast journey. It means so much to me that I have so much support as I grow this mission to spread the word about direct primary care and help the marketing effort and just trying to improve the overall landscape of how healthcare is provided in the United States. Each week, there's more and more downloads, particularly from the Amazon Alexa flash briefing system that they have in place there. That probably makes up about, 80% of my downloads so far. And I hope to speak about how the show has been growing in a future episode that's coming up shortly. If you like the show so far to this point, I would encourage you to subscribe to the show using your favorite podcast player. I have made quite a push to ensure that I publish on every platform that is popular nowadays, including iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Radio Public, and I've also included Twitter, LinkedIn, as well as recently Google Play Podcast, if you're an Android user. Appointment has also recently been approved by iHeartRadio, and shortly, hopefully, Pandora as well. And you can also, for those of you that are more tech-minded or like the actual raw feed itself, since I don't have an email list as yet, you could also use the RSS feed supplied by Libsyn. But at the end of the day, aside from the amazing response that I've had from the Amazon Flash Briefing subscription or playlist that has happened so far, it's been amazing. In particular, if you want to subscribe to the show or at least get an idea as to how to subscribe to the show, I would encourage you to visit www.appaxisllc.com. That's APPAXISLLC.com. And that's a sure bet because I provide all the links you need to choose the platform that best suits you. In this installment of Season 3, I'd like to continue our discussion with Leslie Ware of Alpha Health and Wellness, a physician assistant direct primary care practice in Charlotte, North Carolina. I will be sure to include details on how to contact Leslie Ware, as well as learn a little bit more about her practice in North Carolina. In the show notes, I'll provide her website. In this third installment, we discuss a little bit about what it's like to operate a PA-owned DPC practice. Let's listen in. You mentioned a little bit about what you're doing with marketing, getting out there in the community and building relationships and your social media strategy and what have you. Mm-hmm. Could you speak a little bit more detail as to your marketing aspects or your marketing strategy?
Yes. Well, I have a social media presence on most of the platforms, including Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I have my own website. It's ahawdpc.com. Okay. That's ahawdpc.com. I'll be sure to link that in the description for the podcast. Okay, awesome. So I am trying to manage those platforms, but as you can imagine, it takes quite a lot of time to manage each one of those and do posts on a regular basis to keep your presence there. So I fortunately have learned about the Feedly and Buffer.com. So I'm trying to funnel very relevant posts through those. And hopefully that will bring me a lot of likes and following and things like that.
But yeah, when I found Feedly and how to curate content, that's definitely valuable because you don't want to spend too much of your time doing one particular thing when, especially when you're starting a new practice. You got things to do. You got
yes.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say it's more important to build a relationship with the community hands-on, but you definitely want to be visible where people are going to be. And if that's going to be that they always have their cell phones with them, you want to be able to be present,
Yes.
So,
and I'm a greater fan of the sort of organic chemistry you can create by engaging with the community. So, I have, fortunately, I had a health fair back in September, and one person led to the next, and I was awarded the Salute Her Champion for Change Award recently, and thankfully that I was nominated by Francine Marie of Beasley Media Radio, and that has helped me to meet some very awesome and influential women who contribute to the community, like myself. So I'm looking forward to the sort of word of mouth that can occur organically just by working and networking in the community. I'm planning on becoming a member of the Chamber of Commerce, the SBA, and things like that, so that folks will know that this type of a practice is out there.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
And congratulations for going to help, the community find out about the services that you and the things you do here.
Yes. And I've been engaging with the churches and would like to just go out and let them know by word of announcement that healthcare that is affordable is here. And there's a lot of educating that has to be done, especially even the notion of a physician assistant versus MD.
Yes.
There's a lot of folks who don't know what a physician assistant is, what our role is on the healthcare team, and that certainly that we can own our own practice is a nuance.
So I have two questions.
Yes.
One, what is a physician assistant? And two, I understand how physicians own their own practice.
Yes.
But how is it that a physician assistant owns their own practice, and is there particular restrictions on which states, or what do you know about how that works?
Well, a physician assistant is a licensed healthcare professional, both licensed and credentialed, to provide healthcare. We are involved in every setting of healthcare and medicine that a physician would be. So we can work in general practice, we can specialize, work inpatient, outpatient, pretty much every setting. And we prescribe medications, we treat and manage chronic disease. We do essentially the same thing that physicians do. We go to school for a shorter period of time. I personally went to University of Nebraska Medical Center, which was the health center that originated the curriculum for physician assistant studies. We have a master's degree program now. When I went to school, there were a lot of bachelor's degrees offered as physician assistants, but mine is a Master of Physician Assistant Studies. And so I pretty much do 85% of what a physician can do. And, common things are common. So we're able to function alongside them as part of the healthcare team, and we play a very valuable role. Nowadays, we see the same acuity of care and conditions that come through the door as the physicians do. And so we not only extend their practice, but we are really an integral part of the team. I have my own panel of patients, and I work also at C.W. Williams Community Health Center. So I have my own panel of patients that I see. My supervising physician basically has to discuss a relevant case or topic with me periodically. They don't have to sign off on my charts and micromanage my practice. I hone my craft alongside practicing and licensed practitioners just like myself. So as far as owning my own practice, I'm thankful to be working in a state where physician assistants are allowed to own their own practice. So are nurse practitioners, but PAs can own their own practice. They can partner with a physician and have their practice ownership dually. The one caveat is that your supervising physician has to own at least 1% of your practice in order to see patients in your clinic. But it's an awesome thing to be able to provide care and do it in your own way, and to be able to do it with direct primary care, which is very affordable.
Awesome. Thank you for that. That's very valuable. So not all states allow non-physicians to own their own practice.
Correct.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It'd be interesting. I'll try and do some research to figure out who are the most not only direct primary care friendly states, but the ones that are also physician assistant owned practice friendly states.
Right. I think the most recent stat that I've heard in North Carolina is that there are 400 PA owned practices. Only 2 of them are solely owned by the physician assistant.
Here in North Carolina?
In North Carolina.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. In the 4th and final installment of my Season 3 discussion with Leslie Ware, we discuss a little bit more about patient education, as well as her plans for her holistic approach that she envisions for Alpha Health and Wellness as it grows. Tune in then.